it's time to roll credits on Season 5. Hey, welcome back for the season finale of The Right Way. I'm your host, Garrett K. Jones, and I have a fun episode locked and loaded for you. Now, before we jump in, I have a few announcements that I'd like to share with you. First and foremost, I will be on hiatus for the next couple of months. It's going to be a nice break from production to give me a bit of extra time and breathing room. Second, I have 2 events coming up in August. First up, I have the author meet and greet on August 19th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Hanford branch of the Kings County Library. And the next event after that is my poetry writing workshop, also held at the library from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Both events are free to the public, and I would love to see you guys, as many of you as possible who are locals, down there. It would be great to see you. Lastly, I wanted to give you a heads up regarding some formatting changes that will be taking place with the show moving into Season 6. I'm changing things up and simplifying the episodes. Some things, like the Author Awareness April Marathon, will remain business as usual. You can count on that. But the standard episodes are going to be monthly episodes instead of weekly episodes, and they will feature all segments. It sounds like a crazy experiment, but it provides an opportunity to consolidate the content that I generate into something new and different. I promise, though, it will be worth it. With that said, let's get into the rest of this episode. So with the season closer, I wanted to do something really cool. I wanted to give away awards in 3 categories: Best Guest Host, Best Author Awareness Guest, and Best Interview Marathon Guest. That's a total of 3 awards. Each winner will receive a $15 gift card from Amazon, as a way of saying thank you for participating in Season 5. Just to make sure there was absolutely zero bias, I left the voting up to the public on social media, collecting 102 total votes over about 2 weeks. So, here we go. Starting with the award for Best Guest Host. The guest host had one really important responsibility. Their job was to provide you guys, my viewers, with their personal recommended reading lists. Each host was asked to cultivate their top 10 recommendations to provide for you. My guest host for Season 5 brought an amazing array of recommended reads. We had some classic and vintage horror recs from Brad Dunn, great sci-fi and fantasy suggestions from writer and filmmaker James Fox. We had modern American fiction presented to us by Adam Perry. We had a taste of something unique from author Elizabeth Suggs. Some rearranged and readapted stories recommended by Claire Annette Nolan. Some amazing Star Wars picks from Darth Tuba. Some more great sci-fi reads from my best friend, John Pearson. And lastly, some cozy and sultry recs from Stormy Lewis. And the winner for the best guest host is James Fox, who received 20.6% of the votes, as you can see from the nifty generated pie chart. We are now going to turn our attention to Best Interviewed Author. This list doesn't include the Author Awareness April interviewees because I put them in their own separate category. This season I had the pleasure of interviewing several fantastic authors. I spoke with Shannon Ganyu, whose book Since Sinai portrayed her conversion to Judaism. Then I interviewed Val E. Lane about her fantasy book From Tormented Tides. Amena Jamali gave us a great rundown on her fantasy series The Lord of Freedom. Elizabeth Suggs came in on her second nomination of the season. She talked about the work she was doing for Collective Tales Publishing, as well as the biography of her grandfather who immigrated to the U.S. from Swansea, Wales. Then I got to interview yet another fantasy author, Hannah Pennington, about her fantasy series, The Tindoria Chronicles. I had a fantastic milestone episode featuring multi-genre and award-winning author Jonathan Mayberry, geek moment, before the interview marathon launched in April. And I finished the season with sci-fi romance author Thea Landon and fantasy authors P.L. Stewart and T.R. Moore-Eade. This season was very fantasy heavy, though that wasn't by design. Again, voting was open to the public, and Thea Landon took 35.3% of the votes. I didn't include Mr. Mayberry in the nomination because he was a special guest, but I did reach out to offer him a thank you gift for his participation. Next, we are moving on to the best marathon interview. This was a smaller range of nominees, including horror author E.B. Hunter, nonfiction author Winifred Summer, sci-fi author A.R. Mirabal, and fantasy author Jacob Lantham. You, the people, voted, and Winifred Summer took 43.1% of the votes. Congratulations to all of the winners of this season's first annual Writeys Awards. I do have one last award to give out. There isn't really any additional prize, but I do want to recognize the viewership of my audience. You guys have been fantastic and so supportive. My videos this season received a total of 856 views as of the release of this video, but the single most popular video was the episode featuring Val E. Lane, which was watched more than 400 times just by itself. Thank you to the viewers, and thank you to Val, who shared it tirelessly. Thank you for sticking with me for Season 5. This has been an absolute blast to provide you with awesome book recs, author interviews, and writing tips. It's always my hope that I leave my viewers with insight, inspiration, and a bit of entertainment. Now, if you'd like to help continue supporting this channel and what we do, you can do so on Patreon, where you can find subscriptions for $1, $3, and $5 per month. Each tier comes with early access to unedited interview recordings. The upper two tiers get early access to the Creator's Corner segment a week before it premieres, and the highest tier gets access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content. You can also provide support through my merch store on Teespring, where you can find a variety of cool items to fit your bookish needs. Until October, this is Garrett K. Jones, signing off.